So we are about 1 month in the NFL offseason so far, and it has been probably one of the craziest NFL off seasons in a while. A lot has happened, so let's get into it. We're gonna start off a little bit light, something we kind of all expected if you're into the NFL, but the NFL cap space had an increase of 22 million to exceed past $300 million. That's a lot of money. It's a huge jump. 22 million is like honestly a massive jump. But we kind of saw it coming. The NFL was getting a lot of attention. This one's not really as big of a surprise. It's just a pretty big thing because of how much money it got added. Another thing that happened kind of towards the start of the off season was NFL wins grievance against NFLPA regarding report cards. It's like, if you guys don't know, every single year, kind of a report card comes out for each teams on how they do with like how they take care of the players, travel, facilities, and all that stuff. Well, it got banned from being made to the public. This was kind of a big deal that it was going to be hidden, that regular fans aren't going to be able to see it, see what their favorite team got. Really, it was just for like the cheap owners to kind of hide it a little bit more. However, it's just getting leaked anyways. The Dolphins are the best team. I know that because my brother's a Dolphins fan. But like it kind of continued on the same trend with the best teams that it's been the last couple years are the best now. Again, not that big of a news headline, but kind of big that the NFL and NFLPA did get in a big battle, just for it to not matter anyways. This one's a little interesting. Cowboys prepared to play second round RFA tender on kicker Brandon Aubrey. I believe they did this kinda when they traded Micah Parsons to the Packers. They made it so the Packers trade Micah Parsons to another NFC East team. The Cowboys would get, I think, another first round pick or a second round pick. However, that was from a trade. This is just a regular restricted free agent tender on kicker Brandon Aubrey, and it's a second round pick for a kicker. Normally, that would be insane. You never draft kickers in the second round, anyways. So the fact that the Cowboys are going to place a second round tender, normally it would be like, okay, we're just not even going to talk to him because we don't want to give up a second round. However, it's Brandon Aubrey. He's the best kicker in the league, and it's not even close. Like, I love Cam Little. He can kick it really far. But Brandon Aubrey is just amazing. So it does make sense logically when you think about it that the Cowboys did place a second rounder on him. It's just kind of funny to see how it is a second round tender on a kicker. And it's the Cowboys doing it, which is like the laughing stock of the league. Everyone makes fun of the Cowboys, which just makes it even better. So we're switching to a little bit of a sad note. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but Vikings receiver Rondell Moore was found dead in his home. It looks like it was from suicide, which is very sad. If you're struggling with mental health, please call someone because, this is just it's very sad. No one like I don't think anyone really expected it. It's just very sad. I'm not gonna spend too much time on it, but I kind of just needed to put that in here because it was a big news line from this offseason. Over to the Dolphins and them releasing five-time All-Pro wide receiver Tyreek Hill, which makes a little bit of sense. He's getting old, coming off an injury, not going to be as good or as helpful for the team. For me, the bigger one was them also releasing Bradley Chubb. Didn't really understand that one. I thought he did really good with Chubb Robinson. I know it was to save cap space, but as we saw earlier, the cap space is going up. But looks like the Dolphins are in a full rebuild with Tyreek Hill, Bradley Chubb, then James Daniels and Nick Westbrook. Not gonna say the rest of that. Don't know how. But it looks like they're in the big clear rebuild. It sucks for them now because their division is getting a lot more competitive. You know, the Bills will always be somewhat good to very good with Josh Allen, and now the Patriots are back up on the uprising. But at least they have the Jets to beat every year if they can. The next big headline that's come up is four-time Pro Bowl quarterback Derek Carr is serious about NFL return after retiring from last year, which is pretty cool. I didn't mind Derek Carr. He did not look very good on the Saints. However, what he said is probably just going to make his chances getting signed even worse. He would want to return if he's healthy and has a chance to win a Super Bowl. So he wants to play for a contender. He even said here, he also said that he already turned down a couple teams. I cannot think of a single team that would just need a quarterback and they could be Super Bowl contenders. Not one. Like, unless maybe the Vikings. But even then, their division is so hard. I don't know if a change of quarterback could bring them back to the 13-4 season they had with Sam Darnold. Not sure if Derek Carr would do anything like that. It would be pretty cool to see him come back. I just don't see it happening because if he's only trying to go for these like Super Bowl contending teams, I just don't see it happening. So the last thing that I almost forgot about is about Falcons rookie James Pierce Jr. got arrested after a domestic dispute with WNBA star. There was kind of like this weird thing going on before the arrest happened. See if I can find anything on it. But then he got arrested pretty soon after the awards in the Super Bowl. Kind of just threw everything out. I said in my award predictions that James Pierce was really good because he had 10.5 sacks, which is like the only rookie to do that. I thought he was very, very good. Yeah, there hasn't really been a whole lot else to come out after this. I haven't seen if he got out. Oh, never mind. He was released on bail. Bond. Same thing. Not much else to really say. It kind of happens a lot in the NFL and in all sports really, where a domestic dispute happens and nothing really comes from it. You can look at the same with Stephon Diggs even. You know, he pleaded not guilty. We haven't heard anything since. Who knows if we will. Same with this. We don't know if we're going to hear anything else. But who knows? Just something to talk about because it is pretty big because he was a very good rookie. So there's a couple like minor things that came up in the NFL. I wrote them all down, just to kind of like speed past them that don't really need like a whole section or anything. Like I said earlier, Diggs pleads not guilty. Again, who knows if we're going to see anything happening from there. Same with James Pierce. I just thought James Pierce was a bigger one because he was a finalist for a major award. I know Stephon Diggs was for comeback player of the year, but defensive rookie of the year is much bigger. Plus, he's a rookie, and Diggs kind of has a reputation for not being the best. Seahawks won't tag Kenneth Walker, which is kind of crazy to me. He was very good in the playoffs once Charbonnet got injured, kind of stepped up fully, and he was one of the only good parts about that Super Bowl team besides the kicker. And he's a Super Bowl MVP, and not even tagging him, because I know like with the franchise tag, it's like the top 5 or 10 money paid for that year, averaged out, and that's what the tag is. And for running backs, it is not that high. So I don't really know why they wouldn't tag him. Who knows if they're going to give him a big contract or what, but it's a little weird. Mike Evans is going to test free agency. This one probably could have had its own little section in this video because it's insane. I've known him as a Bucks for his whole career. I can't imagine him being in any other team, so a little crazy that that's happening. The whole Browns O-line is on pace to be in free agency unless they re-sign anyone, but it looks like none of them want to get re-signed, so it's going to be a whole new offensive line group there, which is kind of crazy. Okay, we're looking at our third assault case in this video because Rasheed Rice also got arrested for assault. I'm not going to repeat myself with what I said earlier, but that's insane. He needs to calm down. Cowboys are wanting to spend a lot this free agency. They restructured everyone. Like I think Dak, CeeDee Lamb, and they're planning on restructuring Kenny Clark and Quinn Williams. So they really want to go hard this free agency. The Jermaine Johnson trade, I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit of a casual in this subject because I saw Jermaine Johnson got traded for someone who I never heard of from the Titans. I thought it was insane. Turns out he's actually a pretty good run stopper and did better than Jermaine Johnson this year. So that's funny. Another trade talk is Anthony Richardson has requested a trade. I think he would do really good on a team that can actually coach him. Um, I think if like the Rams want to take him in and he can learn behind Matthew Stafford for a year and they can spend their 2 first-round picks on like defense and secondary, that would be really good because the Rams coaching is very good. So they can see if they can coach up Anthony Richardson, who physically should be amazing. He is like just on the eye test, he should be an All-Pro. He just needs some coaching help, and I think the Rams would be really good for that. I kind of hope that does happen. As I'm recording this, the combine's in the middle of happening. I'm recording this on the day that the running backs, receivers, and quarterbacks are going. Nothing really all that notable with them. The only thing notable is Sonny Styles. Just looks like the best player ever. I think before he did his bench press, I don't know if it's still the same or what, but before he did his bench press, he was quite literally a 10 out of 10 prospect and ranked #1 like ever, which is insane. He's so good. I think that like fully cemented him into being what probably should be a top 5 pick before the combine. He was like around like the 10 to 15 range. Like I don't think he would have dropped past like the Bucks at the very worst, which picks around like 15, 16. Now he very well could go top 5, especially with Ruben Bain, I'm pretty sure it is, has like the really short arms. His draft stock seems to be plummeting for no real reason besides he has short arms. Very well Sonny Styles could just sneak his way up there, even though he's an off the ball linebacker. But kind of crazy. I'm looking back at the combine and all that stuff, right? What I said about Sonny Styles is right. He is like the #1 linebacker, like prospect technically, like ever. He's like 1 out of like 2,000 something. But in this draft class, there's another one. Mike Washington. He's a running back from Arkansas, I'm pretty sure. He also scored that 10 out of 10. Makes him like the #1 ranked running back out of like 2,000, which is pretty insane. All of that happened in just a little less than 1 month of the off season, which is insane. Like that seems like a whole like off season's worth of drama that happened, and there was just 1 month. I'm very excited for when free agency hits because I feel like it's just going to be absolutely insane, especially with the AJ Brown drama. That's going to probably cause a lot of issues for me. Last time I checked, the Patriots were wanting to get him, but the asking price was too high. So who knows how that's gonna go. But yeah, if you're excited for the rest of the combine, free agency, and the draft, subscribe and like this video because I'm going to be covering some of that as well. Thank you guys for watching. Goodbye.